How's it going, YWC? Guy on the internet who doesn't like reviews here. WWE Raw review. Yes, I know it's out of date. Um, should be doing a TNA review, but things happen in life. Anyway, before I talk about this Raw, let me get my thoughts on it. Screen Rules better than everybody expected. A very good pay-per-view, but this Raw started off with Seth Rollins coming back to rebuild, redesign, reclaim everything he needed to do. And he talked about how he rehabbed and everything like that. Talked about how it's good to be back in the WWE ring. And then he turned it around and said that the fans really didn't like him and said that he was the worst champion. True, he had the most horrendous booking of any WWE champion that I can remember. Says that he doesn't need the fans' help. Says that he's the only person that can be on the Seth Rollins bandwagon. Says that he'll take back his belt. Then out comes Boomin' Reigns. Seth Rollins, being the coward that he is, ducks off from Roman. Out comes Shane, says that, hey, this could be a WrestleMania match, but it's going to be at Money in the Bank. And it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the WWE title. Then you get into the first match, which is Sheamus versus Sami Zayn, which is a Money in the Bank qualifier. Pretty good match, and it's something. It's Sami Zayn. He can hang with Sheamus as far as physicality, which is kind of weird when you look at Sami Zayn. He's like he's smaller than Sheamus, but it's just Sami Zayn in the ring, very good wrestler. Like, take nothing away from the guy. Outside of the ring, that's where I have the problem with Sami Zayn. Boring and generic as all fuck get out. And even Sheamus in the promo before the match, he's like, oh, Sami Zayn danced to the ring with his stupid cap and his stupid little skip. That's basically a skip and a hat. That's the Sami Zayn character in a nutshell. But Sami Zayn ends up winning this match with a hell of a kick out of nowhere. So that leaves Sheamus like really puzzled and confused and angry in the ring, and the announcer was making a big deal about it. And that leads to the next promo where Apollo Crews is being the generic black guy, just smiling. Renee asks him a question about, how he feels about going into a match against Chris Jericho, and he leads into, well, I'm in the new era, and that leads Sheamus to attack him. So Sheamus versus Apollo Crews feud incoming. I'll allow it. Yeah, that could be a pretty good feud. Speaking of which, moving on to the next thing, which was the New Day. The New Day come out and talk about Raw being 23 years old. Big E has a cake and he's about to throw it at Kids or JBL or Byron Sass. Then the rest of the New Day members get attacked by the Social Outcast, and it's like, okay, they were in a feud with the Vaudevillains. Vaudevillains don't show up this week after getting beat at Extreme Rules, and now the Social Outcasts get attacked. They have a match pretty much dominated by the New Day. I mean, what, if you thought the Social Outcasts were going to win this match and have a feud with the New Day, and it's going to be the Social Outcasts versus New Day for the tag team titles, obviously you don't watch Raw and you don't know the Social Outcasts are extreme jobbers. The New Day end up winning. They had some pretty good tag team triple man maneuvers, like Big E doing a shoulder toss on Heath Slater and Xavier Woods, and Kofi hitting dual enziguris. But New Day wins with the Midnight Star, and then they throw the cake in Heath Slater's face. You know, New Day beating up jobbers. What can I say? Then you get the Miz versus Cesaro. Miz comes out first, cuts a very good promo talking about how he played the underdog and how he won the match at Screen Rules when he didn't really have a chance. Who would play him in his role? And then Marie says that nobody could play him because he's so blah 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 blah. Out comes Cesaro. They have the match. One thing I like about Miz, he's one of my favorite wrestlers. He really knows how to attack body parts, and that's not something you see too often from wrestlers. Like, if a wrestler has a specific injury, the Miz knows how to manipulate his offense to where he can just attack that body part. Like, Usually he does his basement DDT where he kicks the knee. Well, this time he does an arm wrench and then does the DDT. Cesaro just phenomenal in the whole entire match. He ends up winning the match with a like Miz tried to go for that double axe handle off the top rope. He hits him with the uppercut and then hits the Gotch neutralizer. Really good match. Let's see. Moving on past that. Let's see what's next. What's next? I think it was. Give me a second here. Oh yeah. You had Apollo Crews versus Chris Jericho. I like Apollo Crews. He started hitting the spots that Jericho got injured last night with the thumbtacks and everything like that. But in the end, I really like Chris Jericho's character. Chris Jericho, after becoming a heel once again, it's kind of revitalized him. I mean, we've all seen Chris Jericho turn heel, but now he's doing this whole new character, sort of. He ends up winning the match with a code breaker out of nowhere. Take nothing from the match; it was pretty good. But Chris Jericho wins with a code breaker, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Chris Jericho, what he's been doing in WWE this run, I would say it's time for him to win that Money in the Bank briefcase. Well, I've got to see the other participants. Anyway, Chris Jericho wins a match with the code breaker. Then you move on. You get Sheamus talking about the new era. Oh yeah, you get a segment between Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin, where Dolph Ziggler challenges Corbin to a technical wrestling match. Oh boy, yeah, I can't wait to see that. But Baron Corbin, really good. I like Baron Corbin, the character, no nonsense, kick ass type of guy, and that's what you need badasses in wrestling. Then you get the return of Enzo Amore, and this guy was just on fire with the mic. If I had a dime for every time I got knocked down and didn't get back up, I would have 0 dime. Like that's cool. Big Cass, he just looks so lost as far as cutting promo. He's like, oh, is it my turn to go? Like you can just see the rusty wheels turning in his head. He has a match against Bubba. It was Bubba versus Big Cass. The Dudley Boys, the most decorated tag team in history, getting beat down by Big Cass. Like I understand putting up new talent, but you can't disrespect the legacy like that. Like, okay, it's one thing for Chris Jericho to win like that. It, it, it's just like, okay, you're beating up both the guys without your tag team partner there, and now that he's back, you're really beating them up. Like, I don't know if it's like Vince punching the Dudley Boys for going to another company, or he just like got a hard on for Big Cass. I don't know what it is. Big Cass beats Bubba with a Empire elbow. Moving on to the next match, you get this part. Charlotte, Ric Flair, and her new lackey Dana Brooks. Ric Flair's talking about how he's so proud of Charlotte, how how she's kept the title, how she managed a way to keep the title by cheating and whatever. And then Charlotte cuts one of the best promos I've seen. It's emotional, it's raw, a little bit funny. She talks about how when Ric Flair was in his heyday and she was a little girl, that she missed Ric Flair. How her mother had to comfort her in her time of need, talking about where daddy is on Christmas, on birthdays, and blah 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 blah. But now she understands because he was the man, and now she feels how it feels to be the woman. And then she says that now that she has, the confidence and the courage, she tells Ric Flair to get out of her ring. She's tired of him stealing her spotlight. She's tired of being told that she's Ric Flair's daughter when she walks into a room. She's tired of old people stealing the spotlight, staying around. She wants Ric Flair to be known as Charlotte's dad, Charlotte's father. And like I said, very good promo from Charlotte. And let's face it, this should have been done a long time ago. Charlotte cuts really good promos, and she doesn't need Ric Flair. But then that begs the question of why is Dana Brooks there? Dana Brooks, let's be honest, women in 2 or 3 groups in WWE is very pointless because there's only one women's championship, and what, like, eventually Dana Brooks is gonna say, "Oh, I want to have the belt too." So it's pointless. I mean, there could have been various ways for uh, Charlotte to win last night instead of having Dana Brooks, because it's it's just pointless. Charlotte should be out there by herself. And I know Ric Flair tried to say, like, "Oh, now you got an enforcer like I did with Arn Anderson." Look, Dana Brooks as an enforcer, it works in theory, but then if you've seen NXT, we've seen her get her ass completely handed to her by Asuka. So it, I guess it works for people who haven't seen NXT, which is a lot of people by count. So I guess, but still, it's only one belt. You know how men's fashion work better? Why they work better? Because men have multiple belts for multiple people in that faction. But ultimately, there is stuff that comes about. Like, I want to be world heavyweight champion, but it's quicker to that with women because there's only one belt for them to go after. And now there's rumors that there's supposedly to be a women's Money in the Bank. I'm interested to see that. I really would. I think that's something that should happen. Anyway, if you haven't, check out that promo from Charlotte. Very good stuff. Her best work to date. Uh, Moving on next, you get that spoon coffee. That coffee is very sweet. Then you get Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. Uh, Dean Ambrose wins with the Dirty D's, and Dolph Ziggler, he's just, I mean, it's not like he had a bad match against Corbin or Ambrose. It's just, what are they doing with this guy? Like, I, I'm a Dolph Ziggler fan, but it just seems like his career is just very wasted. Um, I'm happy that Ambrose won. It this match was just basically flip a coin because both of the guys' careers are just like, okay, Ambrose won a match, but he loses more matches than he wins. And is he really a believable heavyweight champion if he gets the case? Let's be honest. Any one of these two guys, if they won, it's a toss-up match. It could have went either way, and really, it doesn't really matter because, like, you can't really, unless it's like a significant build-up between either one of these guys, but of course it's Ambrose, you can't take them serious as a heavyweight champion contender. But again, Ambrose wins with the Dirty Deeds. Um, Moving on next, you get okay. Oh, you get AJ Styles talking about, oh my God, what the fuck was this? AJ Styles pretty much, I guess it was in contract. Okay, AJ, we're gonna give you some title shots, but you gotta suck Roman Reigns' penis. You gotta do that. And he was just like, "Well, I had a good match, and Roman Reigns, he's like good. He's not phenomenal, but hey, oh shit, Roman Reigns' penis." And then the club comes out. He's like, "You guys cost me the match. I didn't need you guys out there." And the club's like, "Well, we helped you. This is in Japan because you would buy us some beers in Roppongi because we helped you." And then he's like, "I don't need you guys. You need to get out of my ring. We're not together anymore." So look, Vince, he's a sick, cruel, sadistic bastard. I think he just hired AJ and Anderson and Gallows just to say, "Oh, the club broke up in WWE." Like, he can say, like, "Oh, this is where the Bullet Club ended," but not really the Bullet Club. The club ended in WWE. Anyway, moving on to the match, the main event match: Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. Pay-per-view quality stuff, especially from Kevin Owens. Uh, Two moves he hit in particular: the fake out dive where he acted like he was about to dive at the top, but then he rolled out and clothesline AJ Styles. He told Michael Cole to shut the hell up because he can still hear him in the ring. Um, it like I said, just pay-per-view quality type of match on free television. AJ Styles, he tries to go for, I guess, a phenomenal form on the outside or whatever. Kevin Owens counters that into the pop-up powerbomb on steel steps on the outside, and then they fight a little bit more. He hits the Pele kick on the inside to Kevin Owens, goes to the apron, tries to hit the phenomenal forearm again, but AJ he gets tripped up by Kevin Owens hitting a super kick to the ropes, and then he hits the pop-up powerbomb on AJ Styles. So Kevin Owens qualifies for the Money in the Bank. Very good show. I enjoyed this. This was a good Raw. Tell me what you guys thought about it. I let me see. I'm not gonna do a Money in the Bank review, TNA review probably tomorrow, but I would say the best match of the night definitely the AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, and Charlotte's promo. It was definitely something you want to check out. It may go down in history as one of the best women's promos in history. It was just that damn good. I won't be surprised if I see that on like a list of like best promo ever. But of this year. But anyway, I'm gonna catch you guys later. Tell me what you thought about the show. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace out, guys.